they told me I should never do. I've been doing things that they told me I could never do now. Never do, I could never do. I've been looking back and I'm the only one who ever knew. My dreams began to turn out.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those who are new here, my name is Janzen, online fitness coach and strength and conditioning specialist at The Natty Hour. In this week's video, I actually wanted to do an updated tutorial of MyMacros Plus. For those who have been following me for a while, you know that I have been using this app for years. And if anybody caught last week's YouTube video, I think it is safe to say that this is going to be the app that I will continue to use. And going back to MyFitnessPal probably isn't something that I'm going to be doing in the near future. That's not to say that it isn't a powerful app. Make sure you go and watch my review of the app in last week's video. But I have been using MyMacros Plus for several years now, and I do rather enjoy it. I do find it to be very minimalistic and very much helpful for those who are just new to tracking their macronutrients. There is just a lot of simplicity to the app where it makes it a little bit easier for people, so that way you can reduce any overwhelm that often occurs for somebody who is new to tracking their macronutrients. So I do like it in that regard. It's also very affordable. I think it was, the standard $2.99 or $3.99 to originally purchase the app. You can upgrade it where I think the monthly subscription is $12 a month, and I don't have the upgraded subscription. I'm not quite sure what else it entails. I do know that you can access your profile online on the computer with the upgraded premium subscription, but like most people, myself included, I'm on my phone where I wouldn't really feel the need to log into the app on a desktop, so I haven't upgraded it. Everything that I need is available with the standard purchase, and the biggest one being, of course, being able to update your macronutrients and customize your macronutrients. I think that's the biggest difference with MyFitnessPal if you want to update your macronutrients specifically for your own customized targets, or maybe your coach has given you customized targets. I do believe you have to upgrade to the premium app, and then the Barcode Scanner, I think that's new as well too, where you have to pay for that. So there's a lot of pros and cons to both apps, but overall, I very much prefer MyMacros Plus, and that's why I wanted to do an updated tutorial. I do have previous tutorials, but if you have seen the previous tutorials, obviously those are for old versions. And I wanted to update this tutorial like last year, but MyMacros Plus kept doing updates. So I figured I would wait a good amount of time where I felt like they were done doing updates for a period of time. So that way I don't have to redo one until like maybe in another couple of years. So I feel like we're good to go with doing an update. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So just gonna hit record here on my phone. So of course, this is my profile here. So I'm just gonna take you guys through each tab and talk about what different aspects of the app are available. I'm going to show you how the barcode scanner works and a suggested way for you to enter things in a serving size. So let's go over to the first tab, the settings tab. As you can see, pretty standard, right? You can edit your profile. If I go there, edit my profile, it just brings up my username and my email address, sync content. So this is very important. If you get a new phone, you do want to make sure that you are syncing your content before you get a new phone. So if you've been using the app for a while, make sure that prior to switching your phone, you back up the data, hit the download all as well, and then all of your information will be available when you have your new phone. If you don't do this, unfortunately, I've seen it more times than not. Sometimes it does actually lose all of your data. I've had that happen to me. It wasn't the last time that I had my phone, that I updated my phone. It was years ago. So I think that they kind of sorted that out now. But just to be sure, before you get a new phone, if you have a lot of information with like your weigh-ins as well as your food library, make sure that you back up your data prior to switching out your phone. Editing meal names. So this is handy. Like you can obviously change the different meal names. Myself, I like the standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pre and post workout, and then a couple of snacks throughout the day. Some people will label it just meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. So as you can see there, I can change this to whatever I want. Meal 1, if I'd prefer, I'm gonna leave it saying breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that's pretty handy. So here's where we want to focus on setting our nutritional goals. So you can actually set up multiple days, which is really nice and really handy, but you do have to manually go back and forth. So if you have your high days like Monday to Friday, and then a couple of low days on the weekends, I'll show you in a little bit here how you go back and forth and manually change that on a given day. But if you want to have even more than that, or even just keep track of your old caloric intake from the past, you can do that as well too. So let's add new macros. So say this was a dieting phase of May 2022 when I was like dieting for a bodybuilding show. And this is where you just punch in your macronutrients. I'm just putting in some random numbers here. And then I like to do it by grams. You can do it by ratios. I personally like doing it by grams better, just more customized that way. Then we hit save. This goal was successfully saved. Would you like to apply it now? No, I don't, but I do want it in my history. So as you can see there under my goal profiles, I have all my macronutrients available for myself. Nutrition calculator, which is pretty handy. I've never used this before. I mean, obviously I have my own methods where I calculate my macronutrients for myself, for my clients. So I haven't actually looked into this, but hey, you know what? For fun, let's go ahead and do this. 33, 65 inches. We're a female. Activity levels, let's be more conservative. So 5 times a week is what I typically lift. If we want to we want to lose around like 1 pound a week. That's pretty standard for most people. Desired ratios. See, I don't like that, but that's okay. That's pretty standard, 40, 40, and 20. Let's do 30, 50, and 20. Okay, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good, actually. You know, the fats are actually pretty low, which I don't like, but hey, you know what? We can go back and change it. So 33, 65, 3 to 5 times a week. We want to lose 1 pound a week, and let's leave the ratio at 40, 40, and 20. I guess that doesn't really change the fats, but let's just see. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. That's actually what I'm consuming right now with my protein targets, where I have around 150 grams. So that's not too bad. 20% of fat is like the lower end of the spectrum. So, you know, 20 to 30% is a good range, but I'm actually pretty impressed with that calculator. Very similar though to what I mentioned in my FitnessPal. I would, for myself, based off of my dieting history, this app again doesn't take into consideration my dieting history, my adaptations, where having 150 grams of carbs right off the bat for myself is very unnecessary. Last year I lost weight on very similar macros actually, but my carbs were around 180 grams a day. So just something to kind of be cautious of if you are doing this on your own and you don't have a coach. So if you're losing weight too quickly, that might be a good indication that, hey, you know what, you have some wiggle room to increase the amount that you're consuming. But, you know, obviously that I can talk about that for hours. If you want me to do a video in regards to setting your own macronutrients and what to look for, red flags and adjustments that you can make if you're setting things on your own, comment down below and I'd be happy to do that in a future video for you. But without me talking too much about that today, let's continue on with the tutorial. Meal timer, haven't looked into that. Water tracking, this can be really helpful for a lot of people. I don't use it though. I'm pretty good at, you know, consuming my water, so I don't don't need something to hold me accountable, but a lot of people really do struggle with their water consumption. So feel free to use that. That could be a very helpful option for you. Okay, and then everything else in here, like your app settings, protein, carbs, and fats. If you want to track your fiber, which I do, that's where you change it there. So we don't want to show our net carbs. I mean, you can, but I typically don't. Okay, so that's pretty standard for the app settings. So let's get into actually tracking our macros here, okay? So this is the place where you go to track your macros. So if we track now, before I actually track now, as you can see here, I have my high carb days that have been allocated. Say it's a low carb day, and you guys saw previously how my low carbs were. How can I go and manually change it if I know like, oh, these aren't the macros that I should be consuming today? So we wanna click that little pencil that is right next to 800 kcals remaining. So if we click that, there you can see that I have my macro goals available. So that's where we would select low carb days. So if we select it, as you can see, my macros have changed. So this just showcases your macronutrient breakdown. If you would like to see how much you've actually consumed for the day, you can just swipe over, and then that way you can see your layout there. So there's different layouts based off of, and when there's where you would track your water. That's super handy. So this one's actually kind of cool. I might even start using that a little bit more. So you can kind of see both, right? Because this one is how much you've consumed. This one is how much you have left. And then the third one is a combination of both. So let's keep going over towards the left. This is where you track your body weight and everything like that. So this can be really handy, right? If you have like look at my lifetime of where I've tracked my body weight. So of course, you know, most people don't want to lose that information. And that's where backing up your information can be very helpful and important if you're getting a new phone. Okay, the last one here. This is just where everybody can follow you, which is pretty cool. So like I can go to my clients' profiles and go creep and see what they're eating, which is kind of handy. So that can be really helpful if you don't want people to see what you are eating. If you go over to settings, show recipes, show custom foods. So that's where you can turn that off. See, everybody can see all my information. If I don't want people to see my body weight, I turn that off. I don't do my workouts in this app, but you can turn that off. Show custom foods, so show recipes. If you turn all of that off, people who follow you, they don't get to see that information, so you can keep it a little bit more private. Okay, let's go back to the calendar, because this is where we obviously want to track our food. So where is all of our food? If we want to add a new food into our library, where do we go? So the top left corner here, right above where it says Hello Kristen, that's my profile picture. You click on that little icon, and here is our food menu. So with our food menu, the search food, that first option is all of the different food based off of everybody else adding everything. So say you don't have the macro profile of a banana, you can go and see where you can track that for yourself. So as you can see, different options come up for bananas. If you're going to use this feature, I really recommend that you ensure that you're selecting a verified option. So as you can see, that's the orange check mark there. So that just showcases that the macros of the item that's been added has been verified, so it's going to be much more accurate. However, we still want to be cautious of what we select. So if we select this one here that says 1 large banana, what's a large banana? You know, that can be a difference between a 100-gram banana or a 150-gram banana. And I'll show you in a minute. Remember those numbers, a 100-gram banana or a 150-gram banana, that can be a significant change in our macronutrient breakdown. So I don't like selecting options based off of that type of serving sizes. I'll always try to find options that are either in grams or in ounces. So let's keep exploring our different choices here. If we keep going down, you can see here on the right, it says 1 large, 1 small. Oh, look, here's a verified one that's in ounces. And let's use the one in grams right below it so I can show you what I previously meant. So if we select that, it'll show you the macros for a banana in 1 gram. So if you weigh out your banana, let's see, how much does 100 grams equate to? A 100-gram banana showcases 23 grams of carbs. that's considered to be a large banana. But what if it was 150 grams? We change that 150, that jumps up by almost 12 grams of carbs. That's a significant difference. So you can see there that the accuracy of you selecting a serving size that is just based off of what you see, it's not going to be as accurate. So if you're constantly logging a large banana every single day, but it weighs 150 grams, that's a big difference in the amount that you are underreporting with what you're consuming. So that can make it really tough and challenging to accomplish your goals. So we want to make sure that we are accurate with our serving sizes. So like I said, the food library here is very helpful when it comes to, just selecting generic options, always making sure that you select the verified option. Like they have skinless chicken breast. Look, there's a verified option there, and it's in 1 gram increments, which again, 100 grams. Great, maybe you get a 200 gram chicken breast. So that's really helpful when it comes to you just needing to select different options. Now, let's keep looking. Say you want to actually add, a food item that does have the nutrition label available. So we have the barcode scanner feature. So I have a jar of peanut butter here. So let's see how the barcode scanner feature works. If we select it, we're going to, perfect. So we want to make sure though, before we hit save, that it is actually accurate. So the back of the peanut butter, see how it says 1 gram in the app here? We want to see to make sure that it equals what is actually being reported on the back of the label. So the back of the label showcases that, I don't know if you guys, there we go, shows 15 grams of peanut butter. Can you see that there? So 15 grams of peanut butter is 1 serving size. So we want to make sure that the back of the label matches what's being reported in the app. So if we change the 1 gram increment to 15 grams, the macros should be the same, 15 grams. And look at that. Don't worry about the calories, because the reason why the calories are different, if you look at the back of the label, again, I'll try to put a photo up right here. It showcases that the calories are 80 grams, but if we have the macronutrients available, the calories are 91 grams. Unfortunately, the food industry is legally allowed to misstate their calorie amounts, so that way it looks more desirable. Saying that it's 80 calories versus 91 calories looks way more desirable to the consumer. So they are allowed to misstate things to a certain percentage. It's very frustrating. So that's why when I am inputting my macronutrients, I will just rely on the macros on the back of the label and then allow the app to calculate the correct calories versus trying to match the calories on the back of the label. So this doesn't happen to every single product, but it does happen more often than not. So we want to pay attention to the macros. So 7 fat, 3 carb, and 4 protein. Yep, that is correct. So how are these barcode scanner results? They are good. And then if we hit done, it'll save to our profile. And then we also, if we scroll over, you can see that it's been added. So say you don't want 15 grams, you have more macros to play with and you want to have more. If we hit the item, we can actually change the serving size. So say you weigh out 25 grams. All you would do is change that to 25 grams and that will update it for you. So it's really handy when you put food items into 1 gram increments. We always want to make sure though that the back of the label matches the barcode scanner. So if it doesn't, then that's when we want to actually add it manually. So how can we do that? Because it's not always going to be accurate. You can't just do the barcode scanner and it's going to be accurate. There's times where there's a big error. So you want to pay attention to that. Otherwise it can lead to a lot of misreporting when it comes to tracking your macronutrients. So if we want to add it manually, the bottom option here, we add custom food. So this is where we will put peanut butter. The brand is Kraft, and this part is where people get hung up. 1 serving size. What we want to do here is match it exactly to the back of the label, making sure that we are using the options in grams or in ounces. As you can see here, it is in brackets. So we don't want to put 1 tablespoon. We want it to convert to 1 gram increments. So we have to match it based off of the amount of grams that are being reported on the back of the label. So serving size, we are going to change this to the serving size on the back of the label, which is 15 grams. Then we want to change the serving name. The serving name is grams. So you can type in grams or you can just put G for grams, whatever works best for you. Then for this part, we want to put in the macronutrients. And again, don't put in the amount of calories that are being reported on the back of the label, so that way the macro tracking app will calculate it correctly for you. So all we're gonna do is put in the macros. You can put in sodium and sugar and all that as well too, but just so we keep things nice and simple, I'm just gonna focus on the macros. So we want 7 fat, and then we have 3 carbs and 4 protein. Done, save. Do we wanna add it? Yes. So when we go to add it, it's gonna convert it to 1 gram increments. See how it says 1G at the top? That is the app automatically converting it to 1 gram increments. So that way when you go to track it, you can type in however much you have weighed out for yourself. So 15 grams, as you can see, the macros match as they would on the back of the label. But again, we want 25 grams, done, save, boom. So that's how it would work for adding things manually. As you go and add all of those things, if you go down to custom and faves, this is where I have added all of my foods. So you can see here, I have a bunch of different options. I even have some different things for when I go out to eat, like a Beyond Burger from A&W. That is in there. I have some things from like Blooming Health where I get like pro nuts. So I have all of my different foods in here. So if you want to get down to something that's in the teas, you can see here on the right, you can just select that. So that's where I can go. So say I'm going to add some cheese. This is weird, peanut butter and cheese, but hey, that's okay. As you can see, again, 1 gram increments that I have added in manually in the past. So if I weigh out 30 grams of cheese, boom. So if you want to have that maybe for a different meal, as you can see at the top left corner, you can change that where, hey, you know what? I'm going to have some cheese with my dinner. Hit save. If you scroll to the left, you can see that I have my different foods inputted there. So that's for the customs and faves. Now, if we keep going down, I want to highlight the recipes option. So the recipes option is really handy if you have multiple ingredients. So I'll just pull up one of the recipes that I have saved. Okay, let's do that. Let's put the naan pizza in there into a snack, add individual ingredients. Perfect. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of different things that I have created a recipe for. I have the pizza sauce, the naan bread, and the cheese. So that has been inputted based off of the recipes that I have shared in the past. And the reason I like adding them into the app like that, where it includes all the ingredients, because say I have this recipe again, but I have 45 grams of cheese. We can easily go in there and change it to 45 grams of cheese. And that's not going to change it on the recipe where it has been saved. So say you want to save a recipe. How can we do that? Well, let's go back in the past here. Okay, look, yesterday I had a protein crate. You can see that there is multiple ingredients for that. I have the Legion birthday cake protein powder with some egg whites and strawberries. Maybe I don't want to go through my customs and faves and save each ingredient manually every single day. So if that's the case, you have 2 options. The first one is saving it as a recipe. So if we select post-workout and scroll to the left, you can see there's an option that says save. So let's hit save, and this will be my protein crepe recipe. I'll still leave it as 1 serving size because as you saw previously when I input it based off of including all of the ingredients, the different serving sizes come up. So I'm fine just leaving it just as that. So if we hit done and then we hit save, now let's go to today or tomorrow, and now we go back to our recipes and we want to find protein crepe. Oh, look at that. There it is. Protein crepe comes up. Let's add that to post-workout, add individual ingredients, and boom, there it is. And then maybe today we have 60 grams of strawberries. There we go. Now, like I said, there are 2 ways that you can use that feature. So if we go back to yesterday and we go back to the crepe recipe again, if we swipe left, you can see there's some other options versus just save. If you hit the copy button, you can copy that entire recipe to tomorrow or the future. So we're gonna copy that recipe to tomorrow, and then it's gonna save it there for tomorrow. So I've added it twice, but as you can see, it has been there as well. Now say I accidentally added them twice and I don't want them there. Well, if we select the item that we want to delete, just swipe, delete, swipe and delete, swipe and delete, and boom, there we go. That has been tracked correctly. So that's it for the recipes side of things. Those are the features that I use. Those are the features that I find to be very helpful. You can also try the nutrition label scanner. Like let's try that for the peanut butter. Instead of scanning the barcode, you can take a picture of the nutrition facts, use photo. Let's see how accurate this is. Oh, and look at that. However, see how it matched the calories? So we might want to change that. So Kraft peanut butter. And again, let's make sure that we change it to 15 grams versus for the serving size and the serving names. And oh, see, it's not as accurate sometimes. And that's what I mean previously with making sure that if you're using the barcode scanner or the nutrition label photo option, you want to make sure that it is matching the back of the label. So we did that. Unfortunately, it didn't work. So we're just gonna, edit it manually from here. So take out the calories because we know that it doesn't equal, and just put in the macros. We got 7 fat, 3 carbs, 4 protein. And then if we save, if we log it, there it is. So 15 grams, and that's how we know what the serving size is. And as you can see here at the top, it shows how many macros you've consumed, how much you have left over. You can swipe over to see different options. And then if you go all the way down, you can get a detail of your daily totals for more than the macronutrients. So you can see here that it has the fiber amount, the sugar amount, your sodium. So if you want to pay attention to those things, you can do that as well. If we select see details, you can get a snapshot for that, just showcasing, oh, the summary is only available for the pro version, which is fine. I don't normally use that anyways. Analysis, same thing, export. Okay, so those are some of the features if you wanted to export this to Excel. But hey, you know what? Those are the features showing more so the entire breakdown of your day. All right. So that's it for the updated version of the MyMacros Plus tutorial. Hopefully you all found it to be helpful. If you have any questions with anything that we talked about today, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor. Make sure you like, comment down below what tip you enjoyed the most, and make sure you guys subscribe so that way you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I look forward to chatting with you all again very soon. But until then, go out there, strive for more, be more, and ignite your inner athlete.